the Chi-Town experience on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the like.
This may be hard for you guys to believe, but Bears owner George McCaskey actually played a pivotal role in the Chicago Bears landing Ben Johnson. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Bears fans, before I go any further with today's episode of Keek on the Mic, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is BetUS. As always, Bears fans, you guys can head over to betus.com and use promo code YouTube150 for a 150% deposit bonus up to $2,000, and also get 125% second and third deposits as well. So, Bears fans, it still feels like a dream. A dream that the Chicago Bears actually got their guy. They actually got the big fish in the head coaching cycle. The Chicago Bears never do anything like this. They usually, stay the safe route and hire a guy like Mike McCarthy, even though Mike McCarthy would also have been a good hire, or hire a guy like Pete Carroll, a guy that has experience, but the guy is 73 years old. There's no long-term vision for Pete Carroll. But no, the Chicago Bears actually got the top guy in the head coaching cycle by landing Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. And I couldn't be more excited for the Chicago Bears organization, for the Chicago Bears fans that were hoping that the Chicago Bears didn't screw this up. I also want to give a huge shout out to general manager Ryan Poles. He still has a lot of work to do to this roster to, finally build a good offensive line. But I give him a whole lot of kudos because he was dealing with a lot of backlash. Some from me as well. A lot of backlash of, hey, we don't trust Ryan Poles. Maybe it's time to get rid of Ryan Poles in order to get, the big fish in the sea in Ben Johnson. But no. Ryan Poles, with the support of Kevin Warren and the Bears organization, was able to land the hottest coaching candidate, in my opinion, since Kyle Shanahan going to the San Francisco 49ers. So huge congratulations on this massive hire for the Chicago Bears organization. This is massive for the organization, massive for Caleb Williams, and I'm super excited to see what Ben Johnson's able to do with the Chicago Bears organization. So as we all know, things really came together really fast for the Chicago Bears in regard to them hiring Ben Johnson. And everyone thought that during this process that when they were, casting these very wide net of interviews, they interviewed 17 different candidates, all the way from Mike Kafka to Pete Carroll to Mike McCarthy to Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, so on and so forth. And then a lot of people thought the Bears were going to make the same mistake. They're like, man, they're casting this wide net of coaching candidates. The Chicago Bears are going to mess this up again, right? But no, what they were doing was just buying time, understanding that their top candidate was still in the playoffs and he was not able to be hired as the next head coach of the Chicago Bears until he was out of the playoffs. The second that the Detroit Lions lost to the Washington Commanders on Saturday night, the Chicago Bears pounced on their opportunity and made the, hiring of Ben Johnson official very, very fast. So once again, huge shout out to Ryan Poles, huge shout out to Kevin Warren and the Bears organization for being very swift on this and just getting this done. And what makes this thing so crazy is that Ben Johnson has yet to be inside Hallis Hall. The first time he's going to be in Hallis Hall is tomorrow, and it's actually kind of crazy because he didn't even take an in-person visit to the Chicago Bears, to the Las Vegas Raiders, before agreeing to a contract to become the next head coach of the Chicago Bears. To me, that is impressive. That is a reflection on the Chicago Bears organization, for once, a reflection on Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren as well. So once again, a huge win for everyone involved in getting Ben Johnson to Chicago. But here is the thing. And this is something that many people don't know, and something that I wanted to talk to you guys about on today's episode of Keek on the Mic, and just give my opinion on it and get your opinion on it as well. A lot of people don't know this, Bears fans, but that Poles got a major assist in closing the deal from Bears owner George McCaskey, out of all people. Jeff Hughes of the Bears blog actually reported this, and he was huge during this process. Everything that he reported on came true, down to, hey, it's Ben Johnson or bust for the Chicago Bears, and anything in regards to Ben Johnson, he was absolutely spot on with. So huge shout out to Jeff Hughes of the Bears blog and during his process and him reporting everything in regard to Ben Johnson. But this is what he had to say on the support that Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren received from Bears owner George McCaskey. Said, okay, last bit, then I'm done. Ben Johnson is more than comfortable with Poles as his personnel man, but wanted assurances from George that he'd have no meddling from Warren and George McCaskey. He got those. Deal done. And that was the big thing going, when we were talking about the approach of the Bears looking for their next head coach of the organization is who has the power? Who would the next head coach of the Chicago Bears be reporting to? There's some coaches out there that are okay with reporting to multiple people. Then there's people like Ben Johnson that wanted alignment with just their general manager. He didn't want too many people in the kitchen when it came to football decisions and football operations. Ben Johnson wanted to make sure that the only person he had to report to was Ryan Poles. And he got those assurances from not only from Kevin Warren, but from George McCaskey as well. And then Ben Johnson moved forward and said, hey, I am comfortable. I accept your offer to be the next head coach of the Chicago Bears. And it was that easy. And to me, it's absolutely crazy because all the rumors that we were hearing about, Ben Johnson not wanting to work with Ryan Poles and, there's, something going on, obviously even going down to Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles not liking each other as well. And obviously all those questions have been answered. And even though that at times this Bears organization can be dysfunctional, and they have shown times that they are really dysfunctional, I feel like this is a huge step forward for the organization, and I think George McCaskey deserves a whole lot of credit. And I'll be the first one to say that I am shocked as hell that this actually worked out, that they were actually able to land Ben Johnson, that they were able to ease Ben Johnson's nerves as well, and for all the criticisms that he has gotten as the Chicago Bears owner, and rightfully so. He has been a part of the problem for the longest time. I am very, very pleased with the way that he handled the situation, really staying out of the business and just being there for support for not only Ryan Poles, but for Kevin Warren as well, and just doing anything he needed to do as the Bears owner to get this done. Because I think now that I'm looking at the situation, how it unfolded, it proves to me that, George McCaskey is tired of losing, that he cares about what the Bears fans want as well. And he was just there for the moral support of Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles. And he played a major role in landing Ben Johnson here in Chicago by just reassuring him, saying, hey, you are only reporting to Ryan Poles, and that is it. And to me, that is a huge deal, because it also gives Ryan Poles that vote of confidence that this is his team, and he may or may not still be on a short leash, but at least we know that now this is Ryan Poles' guy. And they're going to be connected for the next couple of years. And I only wish the most success for Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears organization moving forward. This just seems like a huge day in Chicago Bears history. It seems like a huge step forward for the McCaskey family and the Bears organization moving forward. That he played a major role. And once again, I don't like him meddling in football operations. And that's what he just assured today, that, hey, I am just the owner. You don't have to report to me. You are reporting to Ryan Poles. He is going to be your boss. And obviously Ben Johnson really likes the idea by just having that alignment with Ryan Poles and Ryan Poles only. Here is the key part for the Chicago Bears. I know there's a lot of Bears fans out there that are still a little bit concerned about this, but the key part will be making sure that Kevin Warren doesn't overstep his boundaries. His responsibilities as the Bears president is to do president things. He is not a part of the football operation side. Of course, he was a part of helping and assisting Ryan Poles pick the next head coach of the Chicago Bears, but obviously Ben Johnson was Ryan Poles' decision at the end of the day, and that makes me really happy that this was Ryan Poles' operation. But now Kevin Warren can take a step back and worry about the business aspect of the Chicago Bears, meaning getting the stadium up and running, and just making sure the business side of the Chicago Bears is smooth selling. So that's going to be the big thing. I know there's been a lot of people around the National Football League nervous about the dynamic of the Chicago Bears and nervous that Kevin Warren is going to overstep Ryan Poles' decision makings when it comes to football operations. But it seems like with how things were handled in the coaching search, that should no longer be a concern. And I hope that's never going to be a concern. And I know that Kevin Warren played a huge role in really, making the McCaskies comfortable and really kind of breaking it down to them. Like, hey, if you want to change things, if you want to change the culture here in Chicago, you're going to have to open up your paybook to get that big fish in the sea. And that was Ben Johnson. And I think that was a huge reason why the McCaskies, kind of opened up to the idea to actually spend that $13 to $16 million on a head coach. And that's something that they have never done before. So we do have to give Kevin Warren also a lot of credit as well. But now that they have their coach, now Kevin Warren can go back and focus on the stadium and let Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson really construct this roster and how Ben Johnson wants it. And hopefully we can get back to winning ways, because it hasn't been a really long time since the Chicago Bears have been a consistent winner. But it seems like everything going on with the Chicago Bears right now is a good thing. You landed the biggest fish in the sea in this head coach cycle in Ben Johnson. Obviously, Ryan Poles still has a lot of work to do in terms of constructing this roster, meaning building the offensive line, building the defensive line. And right now, things are looking good. We should celebrate this because I think the Bears overall took a huge step forward. But I wanted to come on here really quick and just give George McCaskey his kudos, give Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears organization their kudos, because this is a very positive day in Chicago Bears history. Still have a long way to go. And just because we got Ben Johnson doesn't mean it's going to work out, but I am very confident in what Ben Johnson's going to bring as the new head coach of the Chicago Bears. So overall, Bears fans, how do you feel about George McCaskey being a pivotal reason why the Chicago Bears landed Ben Johnson? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. But as always, Bears fans, make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. And make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. And once again, make sure you guys head over to betus.com and use promo code YouTube150 for a 150% deposit bonus up to $2,000. And also get 125% second and third deposits as well. Better than that, be back for our all new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys. And as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you